Hello everyone, LRon here with part 23 of my Dark Souls 1 NGN run. So, we are now going to push the elevator back into the standard position, and then I find myself going the wrong way, so I need to come back this way. And so, over here I try to do some clever archery. Don't do this. It's actually easier to do clever archery on the other side. These guys are easy to push off the edge. I was hoping that the aggro would confuse their AI and make them run towards me. That's a common tactic in the catacombs, but unfortunately that was fruitless here, so I would advise against doing what I just did and just instead go up the stairs. And then deal with these guys at a more appropriate time. And so, as you've probably noticed, even though my shield was up, I still took a nominal amount of damage. That's because their melee weapons are imbued with lightning, so I was able to block the physical, but the Baldur shield does not do 100% lightning, so lightning did go through. So now I am pulling this guy, and then I'll melee him once he's separated from the other. And so later on in this cohort it becomes more apparent, but in case you didn't know, monsters have a harder time detecting you while you're hollow. So if you're in human form, then you're going to attract enemies from a farther distance. And there is a ring called the fog ring, which will help reduce your detection distance, and I'm pretty sure that the fog ring and being hollow will stack. So if you really wanted to, do kind of like a ninja stealth style run, then you'll want to get the fog ring pretty early on. That would involve going to the catacombs long before I did. There's nothing wrong with that, but I kind of just find it a little less annoying if I just, do the catacombs when I'm ready to go to the Nito section afterwards. Because you don't get a bonfire right after finishing the catacombs. So you have to go down there again anyways, if you don't do it all in one big fell swoop. So this guy ended up jumping on his own, but of course I'm not used to the lag factors and whatnot, so I do end up spending a bow, or spending an arrow rather. That works out just fine. He's dead either way, and we would have been happy spending that arrow anyway as well. So now I'm pulling one of these guys. I think I end up just duking it out with both of them at some point. The pyromancies don't work quite as well against these guys because they kind of will jump over it, and that's kind of obnoxious. So right there I was trying to just finish him off with the bow, but at that point, if you're planning to fight him long term with the bow, you might want to just lock on instead. Because then you'll have better chances of actually hitting. So now I'm going to drink up. And he gets his hit, but I got my drink, so that works out. So I tossed it, and then he goes right between his legs, because these guys have really long legs. So I guess he didn't even need to jump for that. And watch out, because we are getting pelted with arrows from these silver knights, and they've got great bows which travel miles and miles. But we'll never want to use a bow like that because it requires like 50 strength or something ungodly like that, and we frankly don't care. So if you had some poison arrows, now would be a great time to plop maybe 2 or 3 of them a piece, and then you can whittle away at them with some standard issue arrows. So I'm switching to longbow since we have a distance factor, and I might even add on some feather arrows. Yes, I do. Cool. So, they can't really hit us, but we can hit them. That is the general idea. And it's highly recommended that you kill these guys now when they can't hit you, because if you try to just, run out there, even if you put your shield up, the force applied with those arrows is so great that they're going to just push you over the edge and you're going to just fall to your death. So sprinting over and trying to, just swing at them or cast at them is not really the best plan. So we'll just fight fire with fire and use our height advantage to our advantage. Because once again, lower ground ends up prevailing over higher ground in this weird, twisted Dark Souls logic. So this cohort ends up being kind of a shorter one. It's going to be just a little over an hour. It's technically a little under an hour. Because not all of them went the full 10 minutes. But in any case, despite it being a shorter cohort than the previous two, I end up actually doubling my death count. The first death was kind of stupid of me. I just didn't notice that there was a guy in the room, and by the time I noticed him, I was pinned in a corner and wasn't really in a good enough situation to fix it. And then the second death was again me just being stupid. Basically, if you are disciplined with the Silver Knights, they'll never kill you, but I kind of wasn't being all that disciplined until later on. Eventually I do buckle down and do what I need to do, which is, keep the shield up until there's a guarantee that they won't be striking in the amount of time that we can strike. Basically, early on, I took the cocky approach and decided, okay, I've got super high dexterity, I'm super fast, I can probably connect before they do and kind of just have a nice little fencing win. But the Silver Knights are pretty fast. They're much faster than the Hollows out in Undeadburg and Undead Parish, and they're faster than the Balder Knights as well. So basically, the strategy that we had been previously employing shouldn't be applied here, and I tried to extend it into here, and that didn't really work out. Yeah, so that's kind of just another vote to be disciplined. And then my third death of the cohort ended up being to Sif the giant wolf. That's kind of understandable. Our approach at killing him does employ great risks, and it is one of the tougher boss fights for someone of our particular build. Basically, well, I shouldn't get into that just yet. I'm not going to have enough time to finish the general idea of that strategy. But for now, I'm planning to just torch this guy, loot the chest, and then stock up at the bonfire again. Watch out for mimics here. There's a lot of those inside this building. That'll be it for this video. I will see you next video. Good luck, have fun.